Good morning, everybody. Hey, no! Gold Standard Radio Network, a snowy February the 25th, 2026 at 6:50 a.m. Here in Southern Ontario. It's about 28 degrees, Jay, after a fresh 2.1 inches of snow that fell from the time I went to sleep last night till the time I'm waking up this morning. It is already done. It snowed somewhere around, I don't know, 11 o'clock last night through probably about the 2 o'clock in the morning time frame, but I was asleep. I didn't see any of it. And I just took a fresh measurement this morning as the snow has stopped several hours ago. The roads are pretty clear. They did a good job. But there was 2.1 inches of snow from last night. And if we look at the coins are in a bit of a flux, right? The Trump had his State of the Union or whatever he did last night. I did not watch it. I don't watch those things. But initially, when he talked, the dollar went down, gold went up, silver went up, Bitcoin went up, right? I'm not sure what he said, but now as the overnights went on, the dollar has rallied back to where it was at before he talked. Bitcoin has given back about 1.5% of its gain. It got almost a 4% up last night, maybe a little bit higher, but I fell asleep very early last night, probably around, by 10 o'clock, I was asleep, right after the Michigan game ended. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was a little bit later than that. Maybe it was about 10 o'clock. But that's neither here nor there. We got some heavy traffic this morning, even though there's not a, I mean, you wouldn't even have known it snowed on this 402, I think it is. You wouldn't even have known it snowed last night. There's not a drop of water and there's not a flake of snow or a drop of water on this fucking highway. You would have no idea it snowed, besides the new snow piles that are on the side of the highway. So they did a really good job here because it just stopped snowing about 6 hours ago. But we got to move along here. The Bitcoin price at 6:52 a.m. The Bitcoin is sitting at, where's the Bitcoin sitting at? You can see where we had our nice little rally yesterday. Of course, all the shit would want to pop up right now. All the nonsense. You can see yesterday we had this nice little rally right there, and that's what happened last night. That's the whole rally. It doesn't look like much, but it was about 4% from its bottom to where it's at now. And now you need to see if it can get some kind of a base, get some kind of support, and build some momentum finally, because there's been no momentum. All the momentum has been to the downside for the last 4 months, really. 5 months, almost a half a year now, because we're getting close to springtime, right? And ever since July, it's pump. Once we got to the mid and late part of July, it started to tank, and it's been down ever since. And we're still below that 200-day moving average. We're trying to fight and claw our way back here at midweek on this Wednesday, the 25th. And that's what we're going to watch and pay attention to see if it can't do that. Can it get back up to that area, right? Can it get back over that area? Or is this just going to be another little mini, just the normal reaction up because it can't go straight down, and then it's going to give it all back? Because we know if it breaks this, if it can't get back above that 200-day moving average, your next major underneath support is $51,000. The same thing, I hate how it does that. The same thing with Ethereum, but Ethereum had a ferocious rally. We bounced off the 1812, and we got as high as almost $2,000 last night. So that'll be interesting. Is that just a textbook rally because you hit the buy area again? So it triggered some buy orders on the computer algorithm with the computer high-speed computer trading, and then it's going to trade back down and then break it? Or is this the start of a rally that we could now break this downward resistance right here, right? I wish I didn't have to go through all this bullshit now. And it's not just all how it used to be. But if we can break this short-term downwards resistance, you could have a short-term spike up to $23, $24, even $2,600, right? So that's your overhead downwards resistance. I mean, anybody can see that, right? You don't have to be a genius. What the fuck is going on up here? Like, this is the worst traffic I've seen in the 2 months that I've been out here. And there's nothing on the road. There's no snow on the road. There's no water on the road. There's fucking nothing on the road. And yet nobody's going anywhere. So this is going to be a 50-minute drive to work. But you can see that downward resistance. So that's, if you can break that, you could have a nice move to the upside, right? So that's what we're going to watch out for in the Ethereum price. Oh my God. Geometric shapes. Like, can you get any stupider, dude? But that's where, sorry, we're off to a not such a good morning this morning, apparently, with this fucking traffic. Uh, but you can see the XLM bounce just above its 14-cent major underneath support right there. That's the area that we bounced on back on early February 4th, 5th, 6th, February. See, it's because there's an accident on the other side of the road. It's on the other side of a barricaded road. But for some reason in Canada, they're even worse than the U.S. They fucking sit there and stare and they stop. But my rant's over. Back to the coins. But we bounced just above that 14.5 cents, and that's what we're going to watch to see if we can't build another base, because you can see the last time we did bounce off of that level, we came all the way up to just below 18.75 cents before we had a nice correction to the downside, right? So that's what we're going to look to see if we can't re-replicate that, or is this just a brief bounce, and as we go through today and tomorrow, all these short gains that they made, they give it back, and it ends up dipping back to the 14.5 cents and losing it, and then we're looking at 12-cent targets. That's something that we're paying attention to, right? Yeah, this is fucked up. There must be an accident. There has to be. This has never been this bad. The fucking heat not working in this thing? Fuck's going on? Jesus fucking Christ. It's fucking Ford, dude. I don't know how anybody drive. Oh, of course. I don't know how anybody drives a Ford. This work car that I got. I mean, I drive a Dodge, so, or a Ram, but it's a Dodge truck. So you can say what you want, but it's not even comparable to the comfortability when I ride in it. The door handle never freezes when it gets cold, right? That doesn't happen. There's places to put things, like your phone, your shit. It doesn't all end up on the floor. This thing's all plastic on the inside. It's very bumpy, very uncomfortable ride, very loud. And it's 2 years newer than my truck. Would never buy this. I know with the Ram, the reliability, but Ford's reliability fucking worse now. Can't even build door handle. But 12 degrees and it freezes. Can you fucking believe that? Fahrenheit, not Celsius, not negative 12. 12 Fahrenheit, the fucking door won't shut because it's frozen. You got to run your vehicle for fucking 3 hours to defrost it. But that's for another discussion. But you can see the XRP is sitting below the 200-day moving average, where it's been the last, ever since the 4th and 5th and 6th, when it capitulated down to $1.12 right there. You see that? About $1.11, $1.12. I think it was $1.12. And then it had a nice rally back up. And actually, it was a ferocious rally to $1.70. Then we did the textbook snake back down. And now is where do we have another leg to the upside with our beautiful fresh snow cover of 2 inches that somehow I did not see a flake of snow fall because I passed out right as the Michigan game ended. And they won a share of the Big Ten championship. And with one win, if they go 1-2 in their final 3 games, they win the Big Ten outright. So congratulations to Dusty May. Continues to hang banners and stack the trophy shelf with hardware with a Big Ten championship trophy, a Big Ten tournament trophy last year, and he's got a national championship trophy coming to Ann Arbor in 8 weeks. That's the prediction from the Gold Standard. And we did put money on that back in May when they bought the team, and they were 20-1. We put about $380 on them, right? It's like $5,400 payout if they win, when they win. But you could see with the XRP, you got to get back above that 200-day moving average. If you do in the weekly time frame, you could try to make another run back up there near the daily time frame moving averages. If not, your next downside dump is all the way down there at 89 cents. Since we're going to be way late to work because there's obviously a major accident up here on the highway. Let's go into the silver and gold bullion. They've had a phenomenal rally. Silver's back to $90. Gold's back to $5,180. We've had 52-week highs and a new all-time high in First Majestic Silver. It's up at $30.12. You can see they're up in pre-market. Silver's up almost 4% now. So it appears to be starting to rally back again. The U.S. dollar did have a nice, you can see what happened with the U.S. dollar last night. It went way down, not way down, but down. And now it seems to be, it wants to break out of this 97.9. And if it does that, and that's why I think there's downside, and I thought there would still be more downside risk, as I thought we would have short-term upside potential in the dollar. You can see, not in the 3-month. We wanted to go into the hour time frame might do it. No, not even the hour time. If it can break above, you can see that's where it's been on this support. Because if it breaks this support, it's got big downside risk. But in the short term, it's been trying to, since what happened, that's still the 3-month. What happened with Jerome Powell and the new Fed and the fact they didn't lower rates, ever since then, it's been on this upside rally and it's been trying to break above that major support and resistance area. And if it does that, it's got upside potential all the way up to 99, right? Maybe all the way up to 100, that overhead blue line. I'm not so enthusiastic that it could get that high, but I could see it rallying from 97 to 99, right? If it could break that area that it's getting resisted on, right? It's trying to get back above it. Because if you get rejected by it, you got big downside risk, which eventually you're going to get there with the downside. But I could see this being the manipulated phase where the new Fed that they're going to put in 2 months is talking strong dollar and wanting to fight inflation and not going to lower rates immediately, right? Which I don't believe them at all. But that's enough to make the market go the other way, right? So, and that's why the dollar has rallied from where it was at. It was sitting down there at 95 and at a decade low almost, getting close to potentially going down to the COVID lows before they pretended to fight inflation with raising rates, right? Even though they raised them too late and they didn't raise them enough and long enough. So that's what we're watching here at the gold standard. Do we dump from here and silver and gold soar, right? And silver goes to 150 and gold goes right to, say, 6,000, 6,500? Or does the dollar have a nice rally the next 2 to 3 months as the new Fed gets in there? And when they do the interest rates, I believe in March for the second time this year, and they don't raise rates and the dollar continues to rally, and that would contribute to a big sell-off in gold. So those are two big things that I'm watching in the overall markets. Long-term, gold's eventually going to 10,000. Silver is probably going to be at a couple $100, right? But I thought we might be able to sneak silver down into the $40 to $50 range, right? For a brief short time, while they pretend to be strong dollar and manipulate the market short term right after this euphoric blow off top. So we'll see if we make new highs in silver, if we make new highs in gold, or if this is just an extended consolidation to try to trap some retail traders, right? You can see where we're at right now, where we had the big flush from $122, $3, $4, $5 all the way back to about $66, $65 and on the rally. And we'll see how close. Is this a classic bear market trap to where we capitulate down after this massive euphoric 10x run, right? The same thing with gold bullion. You can see gold bullion is getting closer to its all-time high. But when you look at the volumes in these, the ones that let you look at volume, you can see the volume. When you look at the futures, the volume is noticeably less. You can see that volume peak back there. Look at the bottom of the screen. You can see the volume peak, right? In November with the blow off first top. And then we've reached our new rally in euphoric top, but the volumes continued to drastically decline in the daily and weekly time frame as the price squiggled up. And usually that signifies a bearish hidden divergence where it's telling you eventually you're going to have a big leg to the downside as the price has been squiggling up and sideways as the volume's been massively declining over the same time. Usually the price exhaustion, and it's signaling that euphoric top. And that's something that we're watching at the gold standard to see if that does play out in a short-term correction in the gold bullion and in the silver bullion, right? You can see what's been going on since you hit that top, right? The euphoric blow off top in silver, a drastic decline in the volume in silver down there, right? And that's what the gold, see that right there? That's in the daily time frame. That's a drastic decline right there, right? As the price is going to try to come back up. So that's what we're looking at as short-term exhaustion after a 2.5-year biggest rally in commodities history for the gold and silver bullion and copper. You can see if we go out to the weekly time frame, what we got going on here if we get rid of that. The weekly time frame also signifies, you can see that euphoric rally, and look at the last 1, 2, 3 months of bearish red candles and drastically reduction in volume. Now February, barely any volume, or the weekly volume, 3 straight weeks, and in this 4th week of February, it's green, but the volume's even less. And now we're going to see if this is where the volume comes back and we continue the rally, or if this is where the volume comes back, we start up and then eventually we give it down and we come down close, and we have a big fall to the downside in silver bullion. So this can be very interesting to see if we just continue this rally or if there is a mid-ground correction. And that's what the gold standard, as we are way late to work today due to, I don't even know what that traffic was about. There, no accident, no cops, fucking nothing. That's a joke. But the Gold Standard's going to let you go. This has been another live broadcast from the Gold Standard Radio Network. We appreciate you listening, and we'll be back on February the 26th, I think, 2026. Jay. Yes. How do I fucking end you? That's fucking cool. So we just can't end the live today. End. End the fucking thing. Jesus Christ.